How's it going? Welcome to the Trades and Grades podcast. I'm your host, Noah Wright. Here with me is Caleb Demi and Camden Gongler. We finally have the trio back together. No internet problems, no office accounting problems, nothing like that. So we are here today to talk about the NFL draft, which is happening tomorrow, Thursday, April 28th. I think that is. Yeah, April 28th. It's exciting. I don't know if I've ever been this excited for an NFL draft, maybe ever. So I've been, doing a lot of research for dynasty purposes, obviously. But I've done some mock drafts around the Twitter sphere with just different people that I see, and so I've been able to figure out, who some of these players are like on the other side of the fantasy in terms of like defense, and just like special team stuff like that. So I'm just really excited to be able to see where some of these players land. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad you have so many thoughts.
No, I'm excited too, just to see where it lands.
Yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow night. I hate seeing like when you have like a run of like 10 defensive players and like offensive linemen
Yeah,
in a row and you're just waiting for like that one the next like fantasy relevant player to be drafted.
right.
But
Which is how the first 10 picks of this draft are going to go.
exactly. But hopefully once we get to that run of wide receivers and quarterbacks, there's going to be a lot to talk about. So excited for tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the purpose of this is to talk about fantasy relevant players. And you're right, like sometimes they can get a little monotonous with some of those players that maybe don't really know who they are and they don't have any, you know, part in fantasy. So hopefully we can get a good amount in that first round taken and figure out. I've seen so many mock drafts at this point. I don't feel like very many things would surprise me. So hopefully some trades go down, mix things up, and we'll be able to maybe compartmentalize who's some of the better players in this draft class in terms of wide receiver. I feel like it's pretty bunched up. So I think landing spots will have a pretty big factor in who we decide to choose. So this episode we're going to go over who we love, like the landing spots that we love for certain players, and then one landing spot for a player that we hate. We've been trying to go through this and see like, okay, what would differentiate maybe a couple of running backs that would be taken in the second round. Where you're looking between, we talked about Zemir White and James Cook, teammates at Georgia. What's going to be the differentiation between those two? Or maybe Isaiah Spiller and Kenneth Walker, or, and the list goes on. So we're going to talk about our favorite landing spots for some of these players. So I think Caleb's going to go ahead and kick it off.
Yeah, first player, I think we all kind of talked a little bit about Malik Willis. He's kind of the player that we don't know where he's exactly going to land, how early, but definitely would love if he somehow fell to pick 20 with the Steelers. I think that'd be a great fit with Mike Tomlin, Chase Claypool. No more Juju, but have Deontay Johnson. So I think that'd be a great place for him to develop and be pretty fantasy relevant.
Too bad Mitch Trubisky's going to dominate that job and turn into prime Joe Montana.
No, I agree. I think that that would be a great landing spot for him because I think he has a lot of growing to do. He has a lot of intangibles and he has a great arm. It seems like a great leader and a person. Um, but I think he does have a lot of inaccuracies and sometimes questionable throws in college that, maybe the Steelers organization, which historically has been pretty sound, and I feel like they've been, pretty. I don't trying to think of the right word. They've been victorious in a lot of their seasons. Like you have Mike Tomlin. I don't think he's had a losing season ever since he's been the coach there, something like that. Maybe a couple 500 seasons, but they seem to be a pretty stable program. And so I think, yeah, I agree with that. I could probably see them moving up, trading. They don't really ever trade draft picks, looking back, but I think that if they're going to get their guy, I could see them maybe doing that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Next guy for me also, Treylon Burks would absolutely love if he fell to the Green Bay Packers. I feel like we all have those landing spots where we want the Packers or Kansas City later on in the draft, but seeing the mocks, like the wide receivers seem to be going earlier and earlier, and somehow Treylon Burks is still like falling back to Green Bay. And in quite a few mocks, which I think would be absolutely amazing, pairing him with Aaron Rodgers. We haven't seen Aaron Rodgers with a rookie wide receiver, so I don't know if we're just saying this is like an absolute smash for fantasy, but I do think this would be a great landing spot and automatically push Treylon Burks up to probably wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2, however you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Camden can push his any higher anyway. So I mean, he's already got him wide receiver 1. I don't know, Camden. How
He
happy would
remains
you
wide
be?
receiver 1, and he would stay wide receiver 1.
Yeah,
He would go down to wide receiver 1 if he doesn't get drafted by Green Bay. So
he's
take
not
that
moving.
as it is.
He's not moving regardless.
No.
What would you think of Green Bay drafting him? Like, would you be happy with that? Disappointed?
Yeah,
Doesn't
home
matter.
run. I
Home
think it was a
run.
great fit.
Yeah, I think that would be an interesting one because obviously he's a fantastic athlete. He's gonna have Aaron Rodgers with him. There were talks earlier this week of Darren Waller maybe getting part of a trade over to the Green Bay Packers, which would be quite the lineup if you had, Aaron Jones in the backfield. He's a pretty good pass catcher. You have A.J. Dillon, Aaron Rodgers, Treylon Burks, and Darren Waller. That'd be a pretty potent offense just to start, even though you just lost Devontae Adams. I think that'd be a pretty decent recovery for the Packers if they can do that.
I think Treylon Burks fits the Packers system kind of with like quick passes, get the ball to Devontae Adams. I think of like all those goal line picks they ran for Devontae Adams all those years. You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I just see Treylon Burks fitting that role well, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. And they have they lost Marquez Valdes-Scantling. They have Alan Lazard. I don't know what his average ADOT is, but I feel like he's a pretty decent receiver down the field. I'd have to obviously look that up, but they have other talent there. It's not a ton, but could be a better year for Lazard than it has been in the past. So if he's for some reason either on your waiver wire or you can get him for maybe a third-round pick or even a late second-round pick, I think maybe that's something you could look into after the draft. I would definitely wait to see what Green Bay does here. If they pick someone like Burks, that probably hurt Lazard's fantasy relevance a little bit, which that would be interesting to see.
So
yeah, my hate, Breece Hall to Tampa Bay. We all want Breece Hall to have that like 3-down workhorse, just good landing spot. Which I mean, there's not like a lot, but Atlanta and Houston kind of are like the top 2 that comes to mind, or even Buffalo. But we kind of discussed I don't necessarily love the Buffalo spot for Breece, but Tampa Bay would just be a crapshoot. First off, I have a lot of Keyshawn Vaughn shares that I'm just like praying for a Leonard Fournette injury.
Yep.
But if Breece Hall lands there, like you're dealing with Leonard Fournette, you're dealing with Tom Brady one more year. Like you don't know what it's going to look like over the next few years for Tampa Bay. So offensive lines are not as good as last year. They lost a few free agents so in retirement. So yeah, Breece Hall to Tampa Bay. That's my hate.
I'll take this back if he comes on the podcast, but I'm just not a Breece Hall fan for no reason, football reasons at all. Besides the fact I don't know why I don't love his name, and I'm tired of people talking about him.
You just had enough now at this point.
I don't like his name, and that's all I hear. Breece Hall, Breece Hall, Breece Hall. I'm like, it's just I don't know. So I, for one, would be very happy if he went to Tampa Bay.
Listen,
because it would shake up the rookie drafts, I think, a lot.
And I don't need that kind of negativity in my life.
In the rookie drafts.
No, as the 101 holder in our rookie draft, I don't need that.
We need some chaos. What would you do? What's if Breece Hall goes to Tampa Bay? Who are you taking 1-1?
I don't know. I guess it depends where Kenneth Walker goes, but even still, for me, I think that the level, like the difference between those two, is big enough that Kenneth Walker would have to go somewhere where you know he's going to be a running back 2 for sure, at least with running back 1 opportunities. Because I still think I don't know why Tampa Bay would do that in the first place. That would be they just signed to a 3-year deal for I don't know how much money. He's like 27, and I can't imagine why they do that. So I don't even want to think about it. But yeah, I'd probably still pick him, but it would probably depend on where.
I know why Tampa Bay would want to pick him. It's because Tom Brady wants to kiss him really bad. Tom Brady, notorious for kissing people on the mouth. He just wants to kiss him so
well, unless he adopts him as his son or his father. I don't think that'll be.
Kiss like Bill Belichick on the lips.
Well, No, maybe Robert
Bill
Kraft. I don't know.
No, not Bill Pulliam, but the
Robert
dude
Kraft.
who likes getting massages. Yes, Robert
Yeah,
Kraft.
yeah. But yeah, I don't really. I would just. I hope that doesn't happen for my own sake. So, well, yeah, we'll have to see. What would you guys think of? I mean, really anybody else? Like, I mean, I think Tampa Bay would kind of be a crappy landing spot. At what point do you say like, well, this player's value isn't that great, and maybe it'd even be better for them if they're like a pass catching back, like
Kyron
James Cook
Williams.
or what? Kyron
Pass
Williams.
back. Kyron Williams.
Yeah,
Mine.
yeah. I mean, because Leonard Fournette, I don't know
The
what his.
speed blazer himself, the guy who runs super fast and would run twice as fast as Caleb.
Yeah, right. No, I like those two are both pass catching backs. Talked about Kyron Williams earlier, or like last week, and you know, I think that would honestly be they get Tom Brady as a quarterback. They have a great offense. It's not a bad situation, I don't think.
We when Giovanni Bernard signed last year, we thought he was going to have some type of fantasy relevance, and he was terrible. So I just don't think any other running back other than Leonard Fournette, whoever's getting the major like early down work, is really fantasy valuable.
Dude, no dude named
Tampa Bay.
Giovanni is going to be a good running back in Tampa Bay offense. Which and then again, I guess you can make the argument no dude named Brees would be a good fantasy option behind Tampa Bay either.
I don't know why you don't like that. I like that name. Brees Hall.
Disgusting.
That just
Needs more C's in the name. If you have a C in your name, you're solid. If you don't, Noah's like neutral, but like
talking about. You have one C in your name too. Camden Gongler, Brees Hall.
You need like it's just like soft and comfortable, like you know.
Camden Gongler.
Caleb, Camden, soft. It's just like soothing. Breeze. What?
What are you talking about? Whatever, man. I would gladly take Brees Hall. Hopefully he doesn't go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but we'll just move on to Camden's. Kimon, just give us one of your loves.
I love Malik Willis to the Saints, believe it or not, because I think he fits that playing style that you've kind of seen with Taysom Hill a little bit more, and I think he has a little better refined passing than Taysom Hill. Obviously, he's got a bigger arm, but I think he would fit well with like a Michael Thomas and Kamara if he ever plays in the NFL ever again.
I think he will. I have been reading up, no, legit, because he was supposed to have.
I think he'll play, but he's getting 5 games suspended no matter what.
Well, it might not be this year because they pushed it back. Listen, so they had it was yesterday or Monday. They were supposed to meet, and they pushed back his court hearing until August, sometime in August. And so there's a guy on Twitter who deals. I wish I had his name on me, but he deals with legal stuff, and like that's kind of his thing. And he went through the case and did like a thread, and basically what he said is because they've pushed it back until August, that's just a court hearing. That's not even they wouldn't even make a decision to start the case or anything like that if they're going to, which they could still do a plea deal. And based on that in the timeline, the odds of him getting suspended, if at all, are getting slimmer to none for 2022. Now 2023, I can't
as soon as he gets convicted, that's automatic 5-game suspension.
But it won't. I don't think it'll happen during the season.
But then you bring up my counter argument to that would be if he gets suspended in 2023, he's gonna be old and on top of suspension. Well,
that's why you would get rid of him before 2023.
Yeah, he's on my hate list for running backs. Hate him.
Well, maybe we'll get to that,
but I do like the landing spot of Malik Willis. I feel like he would thrive in the New Orleans. Yeah. I don't know how he feels about like Jambalaya or anything, but I don't even know if I said that right. Yeah, but
all right, Caleb, what do you have to say? You look like you have something to say.
Well, what I was going to add on to the Kamara thought was it's a buy low opportunity if you're a contender because clearly he's not going to be valuable in 2023.
Right.
So you just like a one year thing. But the only thing about Malik Willis to the Saints that I don't like Camden is just hopefully he doesn't have the same Zion Williams problem, you know? Like if that's the case, you're going to be looking
at does windmill 360s and warm ups and then refuses
to
play.
He looks like he comes in at 200 pounds and all of a sudden like 2 years later looks like Jamarcus Russell, like 280. Like dude doesn't look like he should be a quarterback in the NFL. It looks like a lineman.
Can't run. Can't like run. A 4.9 40.
But no, I mean, I see the value there. I don't know, like if you own Michael Thomas, I don't know if that's ideal. I don't really want any quarterback, but it's better than I would rather have Jameis Winston, for like the pass catchers.
Yeah. Michael
Yeah.
Thomas
New
is
Orleans,
one of the
but
biggest gambles of the year to me. A
Yeah, I don't
massive
know.
gamble.
I'm personally out. I mean, if you're like a contender and you can get him for like a second rounder, then yeah, it'd probably be a pretty good gamble. But he hasn't played in a while, and I just don't know like what the situation is down there. It's just very murky.
Yeah.
And I
That's why I
don't.
think it's a gamble. I mean, you get
Yeah,
old Michael Thomas back, you could win your league. You
that's the
don't,
thing is,
you could be looking at getting stuffed in a dog cage and all your friends throwing eggs and stuff at you. You just never know. You might
or
be
if
at a
you,
Waffle House eating waffles.
yeah, but like here's the deal: you get him first like an early second rounder. I mean, a late first might be pushing it, but early second rounder if you can get that, you're not the odds of you hitting on that are not super great anyway. So, and you're a contender, I would do that 100%. Even though I do not like Michael Thomas, I think the risk reward there is good. So, as much as I hate to say that,
Yeah.
I think that would be
I mean,
a good
unless your
deal.
name is rhymes with Schmamden and
Yep,
your name is Camden, and then in the second round last year you drafted Trey Lance and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then you're looking, then you're like,
that's
anyway,
super flex though.
no,
Yeah, see, it's like still good, but
but to pivot to my next like love, I love Garrett Wilson to Atlanta, and I know that would Atlanta would have to. I think they have the eighth pick, so that at eight's maybe not looking very likely, and then falling to Atlanta is unlikely. But if they did move up to take him at eight, I love that for them. Pair him with Kyle Pitts. Obviously, there's some quarterback questions or whatnot, but I I think he would thrive in Atlanta. That's a love for me.
yeah, I don't know. It makes me feel pretty gross because I don't know what the quarterback situation is. I mean, they have Mariota coming over there. I don't know, like I don't know if they're just planning to tank this year because and trying to get C.J.
Tank for
Stroud
Archie Manning.
or Bryce Young or like I don't know because I feel like that's going to be a lot of teams that are going to try and do that, and I don't know. Like the more I hear about people like, oh, they're probably just going to have like a productive struggle season. Like you guys realize there's only two of these quarterbacks that are going to be generational, quote unquote, supposedly, and I'm sure there'll be other good quarterbacks, but there's the most talks about these two guys. There's you have a 1 in 16 chance basically of getting that. I don't know why it seems like so many teams are trying to do that. I understand how the importance of quarterbacks, but I just don't know how much. Like I said, the same with the Saints. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know who's throwing him the ball. I think Garrett Wilson's really good. I don't say he's quarterback proof, but I would like to. I mean, the other side, it'd be a better selling point if you had him and Kyle Pitts to a quarterback if it was like a veteran. And I know they have Mario. Maybe next year you bring in another guy. Say, hey, we got these two young guys. Maybe beef up your offensive line this year. Have some sort of a resemblance of a defense next year. Maybe they can get a better quarterback instead of going for a rookie.
Yeah.
So that's yeah.
My hate, and no one can top this hate. No one. Kenny Pickett to the Chiefs. That'd be just a horrible landing spot for Kenny Pickett. He would have to sit probably years behind Patrick Mahomes. Just terrible. You can substitute Kenny Pickett with Desmond Ritter. Hate that too. Any quarterback who gets drafted by the Chiefs in the you know what? What if the Chiefs went back to back? Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ritter. Hate it. Hate it. Horrible.
That yeah.
That's a fake hate, by the way. I'm not serious. Credit Boss Hack Sports for their mock draft that had Kenny Pickett and Desmond Ritter going back to back in the first round of the Chiefs. My actual hate is George Pickens to the Bears. No surprise there. I've seen some stuff that he likes to fight. I'm not gonna lie to you. We had a discussion the other day in the office about how he loves to fight people, and then we pulled up some videos and all laughed as he beat the crap out of some dude while they were up 30. And I've seen some other reports, think that us three have circulated that suggest that he may need some veteran leadership in the front office, and a lot of scouts are saying there's major red flags and it's not worth it. So he's kind of faded a little bit in my rankings to begin with, just based on that stuff. And then if he just goes to the Bears, like I just personally, I kind of hate every wide receiver who goes to the Bears and has to play behind Justin Fields because I just feel like Justin Fields is a run first quarterback. Maybe you disagree, but that's just kind of my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to watch a ton of Bears games last year because like golf and stuff like that. So it sucks because I didn't get to see how Fields progressed or lack of progression or whatever. But yeah, I just love the idea of giving Fields weapons because he had little to none last year. Allen Robinson basically was non-existent. He pretty much
He was
checked
dead.
out. Yeah, he checked out. I don't really blame him, but having an alpha type wide receiver on the other side, I think in Pickens would be a good get at 39 for the Bears. As a Bears fan, I would like that. Just put on the other side of Mooney, and then you have Cole Kmet and David Montgomery, and then Justin Fields. I mean, that's just a good start. But yeah, I mean, like I'm looking at a tweet that I sent you guys, and it's just anonymous from an article, and it's just like it'll say like Scout 2 or Wide Receiver Coach 3, whatever. Wide Receiver Coach 5. On tape, he is probably a top 5 wide receiver, but there's just so many red flags, and they're big red flags. He's got a lot of growing up to do. If he goes to the right place and a room full of veterans to help him go the right way, I think I have a chance. Another scout says he's been enabled his whole life, which is kind of harsh. I mean, I guess he's being honest, but like you going through this stuff, and clearly he's talented, but there's people have strong opinions on him personality wise. So I don't know. I like him as a player. I think he'll probably be fine, but you just got to be aware, like, yeah, he might have some problems here or there. Antonio Brown-ish. So
He's a gamble for sure, in my opinion.
yeah,
Even more of a gamble than he was when we talked our first episode.
yeah. Caleb, you have any thoughts?
If you get the nickname George Pickens, you by every means should be not worried about that man. That's all I gotta say.
You know who I'm hyped for this year? That reminds me. Pretty sure he was a senior this year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If I was a team, I'd be looking real hard at this guy. Dicker the kicker, baby.
Yep, knew it. Cameron Dicker.
Yes.
Out
Hammer
of
him.
the University of Texas.
He strokes it.
Dude, all that reminds me.
He's good at kicking field goals, Caleb. But you get your mind out, getter.
He's got that is that's all I can think about is freshman year golf with Chad Spencer. Anytime we go up to you're nervous over a shot, just say it. Dicker the kicker. And it works. So yeah, I mean I'll be interested to see where Dicker falls this year. That'll be not maybe. Hey, he could have fantasy relevance at some point. That's a good point. If
I'll be the
Cameron
first
Dicker,
one to say I told you so too.
Yep. When he becomes the next Young Hoku,
top left corner up there.
Yeah. So you know what? Maybe he'll be fantasy relevant. Maybe he'll be, fantasy dynasty kicker number 1, and Camden will trade a second rounder for a kicker like he did in our league. And I texted him, I said,
in my defense, it was 1 a.m. and I was playing Fortnite. Was not thinking straight, but again, also I don't want. Let's not get into that. I still have a lot of picks. It didn't matter that much.
I texted Cameron. I said, Cameron, you could get a kicker off the waiver wire. They're all the same. You traded a late second for him.
Well, to be fair, it was a Chiefs kicker, so like before they trade Tyreek Hill, so
it was I didn't. Whatever. I'm moving on to my love-hate list. We'll go my first love, which is Kenneth Walker to the Seattle Seahawks. I have him at running back 2. I don't like this. Would be interesting to say because obviously this is a love for me. It's my number 1. If he goes to Seahawks and Breece Hall goes to the Tampa Bay Bucks, that'd be very tough. I don't want to fall into a trap or scenario of like a CEH Jonathan Taylor type thing. I don't know if that's just an anomaly or if that can happen again. I don't want to, I don't want the landing spot to put that big of a dictation on what I do, but I also I wouldn't like Breece Hall in Tampa Bay, and I would really like Kenneth Walker in Seattle because they'd run the ball a crap ton. They have pick 40 and 41 in the draft, which I think is probably where the first running back will go. So he might get picked before Brees. And maybe a running back gets picked at the end of the first. I don't know, and maybe he falls. Then maybe he'll be the second one. But they were third in the NFL last year in red zone conversion in terms of touchdowns. They're 11th in rushing yards and 10th in rushing touchdowns. Pete Carroll loves to run the football. They have Rashad Penny, who's a good running back, but he's always been injured. I can't really say I trust him. And Chris Carson's older, and I don't think he's really going to be back. Based on that neck injury he had, it seemed pretty serious, and I don't know what it means for his future. So I think that if Kenneth Walker goes to Seattle, he'd be teetering on becoming the running back one, even though I have him kind of tier below Brees Hall. I think like I said, it has to be really, really bad for Brees Hall and a perfect match for Kenneth Walker.
Breaking news. Darren Waller, via Adam Schefter, tells Zach Gelb that the Raiders have told him that's not happening and there is no trade that's going to happen.
Really?
So, according to Darren Waller, not happening. He's not getting traded.
Interesting. Oh yeah, I just saw that. I had my phone on silent. So, despite any pre-draft rumors connecting him to the Packers, they say that's not a thing. Interesting. Well, that's honestly, it's kind of disappointing because even though I'm a Bears fan, I think that'd be really good for Waller's fantasy relevance because he just get peppered with the ball a million times by Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, he'll be fine in Oakland. I just would have been interesting for the NFL draft, but I feel like I've seen so many mock drafts in the last I don't know how many months that I feel like anybody going anywhere would just be like, oh, I've seen that before already. So I just want some trades, basically.
That's why we need Brees Hall to go to Tampa Bay and just throw some dice in the middle of everything. Shake it up, baby.
Nope. I'm fine. I'm good. But at any rate, yeah. Do you guys have any thoughts on Kenneth Walker and that type of
spot? I echo your thoughts. I think he'd be a workhorse. I think it'd be solid.
If Brees lands in Tampa Bay and Kenneth Walker lands in the Seahawks, I'm still taking Brees 101, and I think it actually hurts Kenneth Walker.
Really?
I just think we're overhyping. Like, yeah, Seattle likes to run, but they also were super efficient on the ground because they had Russell Wilson, who also had the option to run or throw, and now you're putting a good old Drew Lock probably back there to start, and maybe they draft a rookie.
Drew Lock puts on for his city. Straight up.
That's true, but he's not the same type of rusher, so I imagine they're going to average about 2.5 yards this year per carry.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
They could get George Pickens to fight.
That's true.
They could get him and get him if they need someone to fight. George Pickens, I will not fight you if you hear this.
I will not, straight up. But anyway, we'll move on to my next love, which is Sky Moore to the Indianapolis Colts. I haven't really seen this at all anywhere, so I thought it was kind of cool. And reason being is, they have Matt Ryan coming in, veteran quarterback. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people be like, "Oh, Carson Wentz is gone. Matt Ryan's in here. Pittman to the moon." I think that there's some validity to that. I think Matt Ryan's a very underrated quarterback, and he's been in this crappy situation for a couple of years. He's gonna have a way better offensive line, where he's a not very mobile quarterback, so it's gonna be beneficial for him. He's not getting pummeled when he's 30 whatever years old, 37, 38, whatever it is. And so I think that you have Pittman on the other side. He's 6'4", 220 some pounds. So he's like that alpha male type receiver, and you bring in a beta male, Sky Moore. He's 5'10", 190, and very quick. I think that'd be a really nice compliment to Pittman. I think it would help draw attention away from him. It'd probably be, mutually beneficial for both of them, and obviously help out Matt Ryan. And then you have, Jonathan Taylor running the ball, and Naheem Hines is no scrub. He's a pretty good pass catching back. So I think that'd be a good fit for the Colts. I don't know if that's their immediate need, but it would be kind of a cool one for fantasy relevance.
As a Colts fan, I would like that.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I think it's a good fit. He'll sit behind Paris Campbell for 2 games until Paris Campbell breaks his ankle, and then
If,
he'll get
if
in there.
Paris
and
Campbell
play.
can stay healthy this year, that completely changes their wide receiver core. That is a massive if. But when he has played, he's been good. He's a big ball, deep threat.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch Paris Campbell at all at Ohio State, and I haven't watched any Colts games really. And if I was, it's not like he's gonna be on the field because he's injured every 3 seconds. So I know Caleb is a big Ohio State fan. What do you think of him?
I think I think he's played better in the NFL than he has
Really?
than he did at Ohio State, which is huge. But I think he just hasn't been healthy. So kind of
Yeah.
echoing what Camden said, like if he can get on the field, I think he's a major game changer. And I think that's also probably why the Colts really haven't invested heavily into wide receivers, because they're like, well, we got this decently talented stud who just can't seem to put it together yet. So
Yeah.
hopefully maybe that's this year. If not, after this year, we're gonna start. He's definitely fallen down further the dynasty rankings. I think you can probably pick him up off the waiver wire, but
Yeah.
he's down there.
Yeah.
All right. Who would you most likely want to see fight George Pickens in this next season?
Who? Are you gonna give me a
No. You have to come up with who you want to see George Pickens fight the most in this next season.
does it like a fantasy relevant player, like literally
No,
anybody?
like could be. It's probably someone on the defense. Obviously, like he's just gonna fight someone. Who do you think is the most obvious person he'd fight next season?
Oh,
Or
I would love to
two,
see him.
who do you want to see him fight next season?
I would love to see him fight Jalen Ramsey. That would be, man, I would pay to watch that. Jalen Ramsey, he's very good, but man, does he run his mouth. And George Pickens certainly is not afraid to fight. That would be, I would like that a lot.
Is Josh Norman? Does anyone know? Does that man still
He's-
play?
He does.
Well, I
If he
mean,
still plays,
play
I
is
wanna see
rough.
what you guys-
Yeah, plays rough.
That's a generous term. He had as soon as he left and then went to the Redskins. Sorry, football team. Sorry, Commanders. Yeah, he just kind of fell off.
Trying to think of who else I'd want to see him fight.
I want to see him fight
Eli
Marcus
Apple.
Peters.
Oh,
Eli
yes.
Apple, that would be
He'd
great.
fight Eli Apple.
That would be
Oh
so
my
good.
gosh, for America. That would be the fight of the year, bro. That would break the internet. If it happens, I'm calling it right now. Wait. Yeah, I hope please get drafted by someone who plays the Bengals.
The Browns.
Oh, yes. I've actually
Ooh.
seen Pickens go to the Browns in some mock drafts.
That seems like one of the worst possible places for him.
Yeah,
That's
agreed.
a franchise. I mean, that's just a mess to start with. I mean, they've gotten better, but like, it just seems like they always have people. Like, there's always drama there, always. And now with the Baker thing, I don't know. That just seems like very unstable. Like, you're just adding fuel to the fire. But I mean, you pair him with Deshaun Watson. I've heard of worse pairings. So, character wise, not the greatest, but fantasy talent
Likes
wise,
to
pretty
fight.
good. So,
Hey, maybe he'll fight all the massage therapists away so that Deshaun
Hey.
Watson can't get in trouble again, you know?
there you go.
That's
Yeah.
not funny. Punching women is not funny.
Well,
Why are you guys
well,
laughing, bro? It's not funny.
That's not what I intended to mean, Camden. But thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
They could have been men. You don't know. Please don't assume that.
Yeah.
I'll move on. I'll move on to my final hate, which is Malik Willis. Everybody's liking Malik Willis, different places. I actually hate him going to the Carolina Panthers. Number 6. I've seen them in quite a few mock drafts try to get him at number 6 by random people on the internet. And I think it would be kind of terrible. Not because Malik Willis is bad by any means. I just think that he needs some form of coaching. Like I said, you go back and watch a tape, and he can do some great things on the run. He can throw some passes in like really tight areas, make some great passes. But he also makes some of the dumbest mistakes for a quarterback one talk. Like,
You could put him in the Carson Wentz category.
it's just, yeah, I mean, it just was, he would make some great throws, and then he just run around, get sacked. He seemed like he didn't, like, the defense would close in on him faster than he thought, and he's a great athlete. and he just made some really weird picks. I was like, I don't know what he's thinking.
Carson Wentz vibes.
I'm glad I didn't have to watch it because I don't watch any Colts games, and I never watched any Eagles games. But I heard plenty from my roommates who are also Colts fans. But at any rate, yeah, I just think that Malik Willis needs that type of coaching, and you can mold him. He's got like the raw talent. And the Panthers, to me, are not a franchise that scream, we're going to develop this quarterback. They scream, hey, we want to trade or we want to go get Sam Darnold. And that's really worked out terribly. And they're like, oh, wait, let's go get Cam Newton. Let's see if that works. No, also stinks now. So
My thoughts on Malik Willis to the Panthers is we should ask Roby Anderson what he thinks.
Oh,
he's on record saying he does not want Baker Mayfield to be. I forget his exact verbiage, but it might have been "hell no" or something along the lines of that.
It's not. Yeah, he. It's Robbie Anderson. I'm like, dude, it's not like it's not even DJ Moore. Like, it's Robbie Anderson.
Is it Roby or Robbie?
That's Robbie.
Yeah,
Robbie. Oh well.
Scratch someone else off the list that's not coming on the podcast.
No, I will not fight you, Robbie Anderson.
Dude, he literally is like the skinniest. He looks like a stick man out there with the helmet on. He looks like a skinny bobblehead. It's so bad.
You know the funniest thing? I love Trae Young, but the meme of him where it's just a sucker with some hair on it, and they say it's Trae Young is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
It's pretty true. It's bad. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like the landing spot for him. I think the Panthers, a perfect match for the Panthers to me is Kenny Pickett. I don't know why. I just imagine his face there, and it just kind of makes sense. He's not going to do anything fantastic, but he could be the most NFL-ready quarterback right now. I don't know how much upside he has, and I just want someone to be able to throw the ball to DJ Moore. Bless that man, because nobody has ever been able to throw the ball to him. So yeah, I don't know. I just nothing against Malik Willis. I just don't like that fit. So
very fair.
We'll see. Maybe probably tomorrow night. I was gonna say there's no way he falls out of the first round. So we'll find out in about 24 hours from now what is gonna happen. Do you guys have any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
All right. One, I want to see who George Pickens fights next year. Let's just get that straight. Two, I want whatever the Panthers do at quarterback, I want Robbie Anderson's thoughts on it before they do it. Just put it out there on Instagram so we can all laugh and then pick it, the quarterback,
Fair enough.
Those are my closing thoughts.
Caleb?
I'm really hoping to see wide receivers land in good landing spots tomorrow so we can debate the top 5 of Dynasty rookie draft, or otherwise it's going to be pretty boring if there's some bad landing spots. So that's my hope.
Yeah, we just went over love hates and stuff, but what are some teams, regardless of the player, that you're like, yeah, I want them to go there for wide receivers?
Green Bay and
the Chiefs. Yeah, okay. That's
Cowboys.
Really? I've seen Treylon Burks go to the Cowboys in some drafts, and that'd be pretty interesting. I don't know. So who do they have on contract right now?
CeeDee Lamb and Gallup.
And then Dalton Schultz, right?
Yep.
Okay. So that would be, I don't know if that's their immediate need, but Jerry Jones is not afraid to do some interesting things, like pay Ezekiel Elliott an absurd amount of money for him to just be old and not very efficient. So, yeah, Cowboys would be an interesting one.
He took the whole where he feed me thing a little too serious. He kind of looking like Zion Williamson out there at times.
Yeah. I'm sure what's Texas had? They got barbecue. So, I'm sure he's had his fair share. I've never been in Texas, but
yeah, you need to ditch a crop top is my final thoughts.
Well, looking at this draft, I think one place that is one of the most interesting places, and I hear about this all the time from all my roommates, is the Chargers. at 17, they could go a lot of different places. They really need something on the defensive line. So, I mean, if they can get people to fall down there that are, somewhat decent, like Jordan Davis or something like that, then I could see them doing that. But I've seen a lot of people try and force like Jameson Williams to go there, Chris Olave as well. And I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me for them to do that when they have much more dire needs at the defense. But if one of them gets to go there, I mean, yeah, I will take any wide receiver that gets tied to Justin Herbert for 3 to 4 years minimum. I mean, that'd be fantastic. So I think that's probably one spot that I'll be looking at tomorrow is that really the middle of that lineup is 15, 16, 17, 18 is Eagles, Saints, Chargers, Eagles, and then 19 Saints again. And I'd say at least 2 wide receivers are coming off there, if not maybe 3. So, and at 20 is the Steelers, which might have to trade
Jameson Williams to the Eagles makes way too much sense. Just makes sense.
I don't know. Does it?
I don't know if I love it, but it's just going to happen.
That's like 2 beta wide receivers going to and then you have Jalen Reagor. That's just a bunch of that doesn't matter.
He doesn't count, bro. Jalen Reagor will fight you. He tried to fight that one dude on Instagram who told me he sucked all those years ago.
Oh, yep.
He's like, you suck, bro. And he's like, what's your address? I'm gonna fight you. Maybe we could start a feud. Let's just start some rumors on Twitter, like, hey, Jalen Reagor, George Pickens is talking mad smack about you, bro. He said you're super small and you don't know how to catch a football, and he would clown you.
According to Gongwar Sports. Yep, according to Gongwar Sports, this just in.
No, not Gongwar Sports. Like Jimmy Toll's reporting or something.
According to our new reporter Jenny Tolles, we have that George Pickens is now trash talking prior to being drafted. Jalen Reagor is
imagine if he landed on the Eagles.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, if that happens, you heard it here first.
Yep. You heard a lot of things here first.
Yeah.
That you'll never hear if they don't happen, but if they do hear, you'll hear.
Yeah. You'll be reminded, especially from Camden. But yeah, I don't know. Eagles, I think it'd make more sense if they went like Drake London, where bigger body, opposed, on the other side. I mean, it'd probably help Devontae Smith a lot because then you wouldn't have so much attention. But I don't know what they're going to do with Jalen Hurts. I think this year in redraft, he's a really good opportunity. I think Dynasty, he scares the crap out of me because I don't know how tied they are to him, moving forward. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we got the draft tomorrow and the rest of this week. Excited, ready to be able to talk more about this. The next time we're on the podcast, everyone will have a landing spot, and we'll be able to talk more about what we think and what to figure out what next week holds. But yeah, appreciate you guys for listening. Have a good week, and we will see you later.